I'm in my office, and today I'm going to show you the new finish that I have, which I'm going to make an option simply because we've had so many people ask for different finishes. Now, I'm going to kind of stall here for a minute because I know it takes a minute or so before people actually get on here. But we are looking at the SpectraTone RED body, the mouthpiece body, and I've got two of them here. They're different from each other in terms of the finish. So we're going to look at those two finishes and discuss what's coming and what I know and what I don't know, because this is a process, and with the innovations of everything we've ever done, it's always a process. I know a lot of people are used to seeing a product that's just at the store in a package and you buy it and you take it for what it is. But we are a research and innovation company, so essentially we spend most of our time researching and innovating new solutions for you guys, and then we put them into production. So we do all of that, and what that means is we don't produce as much as other manufacturers because we're constantly innovating. And of course, a lot of the cost of what you buy from us is the innovation. So let's look at these two finishes. I have first the standard body that you saw yesterday. Remember, I just got this in yesterday, which is the stainless steel and titanium body design that I had sent out to be laser sintered. And this one is in stainless steel, and it's exactly the way it is right off the printer. I had a lot of people say, man, that surface is really rough. It really isn't. It's almost smooth. So it's not a really rough surface at all. It's actually, in my mind, amazing that it could come off that nice. But if you look at it on the camera and on your phone and maybe even on your computer screen or your TV, then everything's magnified. So like I'm holding it right here, and on my screen it's actually bigger than it is in my hand. So the little tiny bits of surface finish that you see that look a little grainy, they're extremely fine. And I would say, I don't know the exact dimension, but they have to be at least 10 times the fineness of regular sand you find on the beach, if not more than that. And in microns, I would say, that's how we a lot of times measure things. It's got to be an RA, very small. It can't be like, it's nowhere near 1,000th of an inch. Now, because so many people asked for polished or brushed or some other finish, I spent half an hour this morning creating this. So this is the exact same part. I have 3 of them, and I simply spent time finishing the outer fins or ribs, whatever you want to call them. So that is a really fine finish. It's literally almost polished. I could probably take some polishing paper and polish it up in a couple minutes. This is a finish that I think we will offer. However, the upside is you can have this finish. There's 2 downsides. The first is it's actually very slippery. So just know that. If you're going to order this, know that it's very slick. I don't know how to say it. It's not like a silver mouthpiece where you can grab it and it has some grip. This literally is slippery. The other thing is it's going to cost more. I'm estimating it'll probably cost us, around $50 retail to be able to do this kind of finish. It sounds like a lot, but the truth is 30 minutes of my time is quite a bit. Now, if I can teach someone to do it faster, and we can, maybe have somebody else do it instead of me, maybe we could bring the price down. But for the backer kit, I'm planning on offering it as an upgrade for $25, hoping that not everyone does it, because I don't want to stand in front of the grinder all day doing this. But it does look cool, and I want you guys to have the finish you want. Now keep in mind, neither one of these is actually the finished mouthpiece, because we don't have the nylon sleeve that fits over top of it. So because we don't have that nylon sleeve, you may change your mind when you see the sleeve on there. You may say, oh, well, maybe I like this one better. I don't really know what you're going to choose, but I do know that it is really cool. It's very slick, and it feels and looks a little more like what I'm hoping for in terms of the contrast. But I think the other version is probably going to look really amazing once we have the sleeve on there and we have the contrast as well. So this will be added on to the backer kit pledge manager. And what that means is that we're not going to put it in the backer kit right now. When you get the pledge manager, which is essentially like the survey at the end, which will be early January, when I send that out, I'll have the option. I'll show photos of the finished mouthpieces in both configurations once we have the final one done. And I'll let you guys choose which one you want, but it will be 25 extra if you want this to be polished. Now I saw a lot of comments, so let me get to those. All right. Yeah, Carlos, I think it really does look pretty smooth. And I'll say this actually is pretty smooth, but it's got just enough texture that you can grip it and not drop it. And the other one, this one I have almost dropped a couple times now. Yeah, Scott, was that just with the buffing wheel and a little jeweler's rouge? No, it was not. Because it's stainless steel, low carbon stainless steel, it's extremely strong material. So it took half an hour on a grinding wheel, not a buffing wheel. And I used 2 different grits. Neither one of them was a soft grit. These are very hard grits to get this. And it took a long time. What I'm planning on doing is buying some harder wheels than that to rough it quicker so that hopefully we can get the time down. But with the tools we usually use for brass, it was quite difficult to do. So we do need harder wheels. I might even have the wheels, but I'll have to check. But yeah, and there was no buffing at all. I don't think it would take a lot to get something, some buffing compound that could really attack the 316L because it is very, very tough material. Would it take longer to buff the titanium? Yes, it most likely would. And once I have titanium models, I may attempt this again. With that said, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't know if we'll be able to offer this finish on titanium. If we do, I don't know if it'll be the same price. So that's why I'm doing this video, so you guys hear that directly from me. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen until it does happen, So, but I will say that I'm really pleased with the results. It does look really cool, and I think it's going to be, both versions are going to be really fun to play and to own. And it's crazy how this one is really so lightweight, even though it is stainless steel. And the titanium version will be 45% lighter than this. So actually, the titanium version has already been redesigned, so it's probably going to be like 55 or 60% lighter than this because I removed more material using the software we talked about yesterday. So yeah, that's where we are with the finish options. To clarify, I will offer this finish to backers in the Pledge Manager for $25. The retail price to do this will probably be $50. I'm just giving you a deal so we can get them out there and get feedback. And in titanium, I'm not sure we will offer it or not. I'll let you know once I know. So any other questions on the 2 finishes? We're going to call this one the natural sintered finish, and this one will be I guess it's not polished. We'll call it smooth. It is smooth, even though it's not polished. Okay, Scott says, yeah, you could do it with you could do it at home. I don't think you would be able to. I highly doubt very many people could attain this finish at home. Because the tools I'm using are specifically designed to do this, and the wheel I'm using 8-inch wheels. So unless you have a $200 8-inch silicon, aluminum, whatever kind of embedded wheels I'm using, I've got a bunch of them, but unless you have those and you have a variety of them, you're probably not going to be able to do this. You couldn't do it with a Dremel. Or I'd say this, if you did it with a Dremel, it might take I would guess 4 to 6 hours to do this. And that's because of the surface speed and just the physics of removing the material. can I show you what it looks like when paired with a mouthpiece? Well, yeah, I can put my internal components in there, but remember, this isn't the finished product. So the brass section that goes inside here and the nylon part that goes over top, we don't have those finished yet. And the reason we don't is because I'm waiting for the final version, which I'm sending off to print this week. I'm waiting for that to come in before I machine all the rest of the parts and assemble the whole thing. So this is a working, I guess, visual prototype. I could make this into a real mouthpiece, but it would take a few hours to get from this to a mouthpiece, simply because there's more work to be done. With that said, though, I'll just drop my rim and cup and throat right in here, and it'll give you the visual, you know? So that way you can see that's kind of what it's going to look like. It's not going to fit right because there's some pieces missing, but that's essentially what it will look like. And then you can imagine a back bore in there. The nylon would come all the way down to here, and then the nut would be on top of that, and then the back bore. And of course, I'll just hold the back bore so you guys can see that. And if you really want to see it, you can take a snapshot of the screen, so that you can just kind of visualize it a little better. It's going to be something like that. So that would be kind of what we're going for. And of course, yeah, I'm allowing you guys to help me decide what we're going to do. That's the fun part of doing these campaigns, is you guys can give me feedback and ideas. Scott says, I was thinking I could use some sandpaper to give it a brushed look to match my rumors. I mean, you can try, but with sandpaper, it's going to take even longer. Yeah, Scott, what I would do is just pay the $25 since I can do it for you. Because you'll thank me if you try to do this. It's going to be really hard. I mean, it took me half an hour, and that sounds probably quick to you guys, but that's a long time for me. Like, for me to polish stuff, and because I do this stuff all day long, if I have the right setup for the right material, then typically something like this should take me 5 or 10 minutes max. And 30 minutes is a little bit alarming. It's just because it's such a hard material. And you know, when you have sintered stainless steel, it's essentially just like, it's like solid stainless steel, really. It's almost like that. There can be very, very slight pitting in it, which can make it a little more difficult, but the density is like 99.9%. The thing is, if you want it to look really good, that 0.1% or whatever the leftover is of non-density or space, that's the trick to really make it look good, is to get that out. So, but I'm really pleased with it. And if you go on my Instagram, you can see I posted some videos of me kind of twirling it around and some photos, and my Facebook cover page now has a photo on there, with a rendered background, and now the backer kit page does have that too. So I will start to update everything I can as I finish it and as I offer it, and I'll probably link this video right on there as well, so people know that that is coming. Cool. Well, do you guys have any questions? That's all I had to say today. I also wanted to thank you for, pledging and probably telling your friends and colleagues what's going on, because I did see that our campaign has gone up, probably like 6,000 or 7,000 since we did this yesterday, and that's awesome. But you can see we're almost up to 40,000. We've got 125 backers. I think if we could get to 300 backers, and I don't know if that'll happen or not, but if we could get up to 300, then I would seriously consider offering you guys some anodized and more finished titanium options. So let me look at the pledge levels. So right now you can tell the brass is not as popular. Right here on this side, we have 25 available at $225, but the previous brass ones over here, we sold out of those because yesterday was the last day you could get them for the $200 range. And then you can see stainless steel is very popular. We've sold 49 of those, and then titanium is as well. We've sold 25 down here plus another 15, so we're at 40 for titanium. And if you guys share this with your friends and your colleagues and get this up to 300 backers, then I'm fairly confident in saying that I would invest the time and the money to buy the right solutions to be able to do this to the titanium version, and anodize it. We could anodize them different colors, as long as it works. I mean, I guess that's a qualified statement, as long as we can actually physically do it. But that would be the goal, and I think that could look really cool if you could have this section and all of the lattice anodized one color, and then have the nylon black, or maybe even another color. Those could be some really cool things. The reason I'm saying 300 backers though is because it has to be worth my time to set all that up. I mean, it's probably going to take me a couple days just to set it all up and to do all the anodizing and polishing or brushing and finishing. So you know, it's got to be worth my time, because I'm not going to set it all up for just 5 of them. But if we have 300 backers, then maybe, you know, 50 would want to do that, and that would be well worth my time to do it that way. So cool. Well, thank you guys once again. I'm going to head over to Facebook and do a live there. And yeah, in the comments, if you don't mind, let me know what you think of this finish. And I'll see you guys next time.